I guess this was like kind of my biggest fear was like posting about God
Oh, don't worry about it. I'm here to help.
in the Bible and trying to like figure it out. And like I guess I kind of knew the response I would get in the end to my questions
Oh, but I haven't even tried yet. Give me a shot.
because it's always been this way. Like every time I've ever asked about the Bible,
Oh, come on. Give me a shot here.
like this is usually where it ends with people either thinking I want to argue
Oh, I'm not here to argue.
or them telling me, well, Lord, like it's just not something that your human brain can comprehend.
Well, there are some things that we can't comprehend, like how God can be a Trinity, three in one. But for the most part, He's made things pretty simple for us to understand.
God is just a lot smarter than you, and that's just something that you have to accept.
Well, there is some truth to that, but God is just being honest with us. He says in this passage that as high as the heavens are above the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts. God's not being mean, He's just being honest. He's an infinite being.
And I would accept that if I didn't have to blindly devote my whole life to Him then.
Oh, well, you're in luck because you don't have to do anything blindly at all. Jesus wants you to count the cost before you follow Him. He says so in this passage with a parable about a king preparing for battle. So, no, you don't have to do anything blindly at all. You have an entire book full of testimonies of what God has done for people. That's evidence of what He can do for you, not blindly at all. And that's not even counting the countless things that God has done for people outside the book.
I don't understand how I'm supposed to worship something that He created us to not understand.
Well, it's not that He created you to not understand Him. It's just that you're a finite being and He is not. He's the only not finite being in the universe. Even the angels are singular and limited. But again, we can get to know Him through what He wrote in His scripture. And yes, He did write a lot about Himself.
Why would He do that?
Honestly, He wants you to get to know Him. This passage talks about how God is actively looking for people who would choose Him. That's the whole point. God doesn't need us. He wants us. He made you because He thought you were worth a shot. He knew what quirks you'd have, and He knew how we'd fail, and He knew our personalities before they began, and He chose us. He wanted you to live. He wanted you to exist, and He wants you to choose Him. And you still can.
And then I'm supposed to teach my kids something that I genuinely don't understand.
Well, no, I don't recommend that at all. You need to come to grips with this first before you teach your kids anything. Now, having them walk along the path with you, hey, I'm looking into this, I want you guys to see where it goes, that's not bad, because if it ends up all being a farce, then they'll know. But if it all ends up being true, they'll know that too. So there's nothing wrong with being transparent to a certain degree with your kids. But no, you don't have to teach them something you don't believe in. That would just be dishonest.
And then, like, what comes with religion is having to judge people.
Well, let's be clear. Yes, there are judgmental people, but we're not called to judge the world. That's God's job. We are called to judge each other, to call each other out and hold each other accountable. Anybody who does more than that is not being a Christian, not by God's standards.
So now, like, I would have to teach my kids, like, okay, and you have to judge people,
Judge each other.
and I don't really know why. You just have to, like, blindly have faith that this guy says he's a whole lot smarter than you.
Well, no, not blindly, because there's a lot of evidence about how much smarter he is than us. Intelligent design is a wonderful thing to teach your kids. The immaculate design of the universe is so astounding that even ardent atheists like this guy admit that it is the most compelling evidence for a creator. There have been many scientists, like this guy, who became Christians because they noticed the awesome intelligence of God, that His fingerprint, metaphorically, was on everything.
And you just can't understand it. It just seems like what you tell a kid when you don't want to explain something to them. You're
Well, I get that because you haven't learned it yourself and you're not sure really what to tell them. But that's why I'm here to help.
like, just because I said so. Like, that's something that I never say to my kids.
Well, actually, sometimes you do. Look, if your kid is 2 years old and you're telling them not to run out in front of the street, they're not going to understand the implications of there might be a car they didn't see. You just yell no. So, yeah, until they're old enough to understand, if you're a good parent, you will have times when you say, because I said so. Even God does that. There are things that we will never understand that He allows in our life. But He is smarter and He is higher than us. He understands things we can't, at least at the moment. But Paul in this passage does say that one day we will understand. It's like looking into a dim mirror now, but then it'll be like looking into a person's face. It'll be that much of a difference. We will clearly understand. But until then, do your best to explain what you do know and maybe look it up. Say, hey, I don't know, let me look up the answer, or let's look up the answer together, depending on the age of your kids.
Like, because I said so. Okay, like, why did you say so, though?
Because you know better. You don't always have to give explanation.
Like, but why? Like, if you're expecting me to follow that direction, you should expect me to understand why I'm doing it.
That's true, but that is on you. It is your job to figure it all out. Now, I do applaud you for asking questions, but it seems like you're not willing to do the research yourself, and that's why you don't have the answers. I hope I can provide some of them for you, but you gotta have some drive to do it yourself. And when we're talking about your eternal soul, it's worth looking into, really.
Like, God thinks that I'm smart enough to follow Him and, like, worship Him.
Yes, He does.
But I'm not smart enough to understand why I'm doing it.
Again, it's not that you're not smart enough to know why, you just haven't really looked into it, or people just haven't given you the best answers. Hopefully I'm doing okay.
This has always been such a hard thing for me.
Oh, I get it. It doesn't come easily for everyone.
And honestly, it's why my parents don't talk to me anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Because they just can't understand how I could be atheist.
Have you tried explaining it to them?
And sometimes, like, I don't even understand it because, like, everybody believes in God around me.
Well, that's nice, but you can't be saved by other people's faith. You need a faith of your own. So it does make sense if you don't understand why you should believe that you don't believe. I get it. But that's all the reason to find out. Find out if it's true. Have you tried asking those people who believe why they do? I'm sure they'd love to tell you.
So, like, I genuinely, like, I want to understand it, but it's like, my questions just can't get answered.
Well, I'm answering some of them, and you're welcome to DM me.
I don't know how I'm supposed to devote my whole life to something that my questions can't get answered.
Well, now that I've answered some of them, maybe you can.
In the end, it comes down to I'm just not smart enough to understand it.
Yes, you are. If He chose to make you, that means He thought you could do it.
And I will never be, because I wasn't created with the ability to be able to.
Yes, you were.
And I just don't like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a bad thought. So stop thinking like that. He wants you.